The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted flash floods in 19 states in 2026, raising concerns over widespread displacement, infrastructure damage, and humanitarian challenges if preventive measures are not urgently implemented. Nimo Bassi, Executive Director at Health of Mother Earth Foundation, believes the time to act is now, while stressing the need to invest in ecological restoration, community preparedness, and climate resilience infrastructure. Just before this discussion, thank you so much for your time, Nimo. This is one recurring conversations we have every year. And every year there is, when there's heavy downpour, there's always flooding. What is that sustainable solution to this?
Well, the thing is that we've got fairly good system of predicting the floods, but not much is being done to prevent or to prepare for the floods when they arrive. So this is basically what needs to be done. More investment in prevention, more investment in preparation for the floods. And this also involves better urban governance, including rural planning. Our planning is rather lax. Many of our cities have not had their master plans revised for many years, and we need to really go back to the basics, including having flood master plans, or drainage master plans rather, for coastal areas and also other cities and villages across the nation.
Indeed, this is a very big concern because that, like you rightly said, is on the part of the government, but on the part of the citizens where environmental issues remain one major thing. Encroachment is also another thing. And then also particularly the ones living on floodplains, that these are issues that beyond the government, we as citizens need to be responsible for.
Well, that's good. I mean, the citizens definitely have a duty to play. They have their own roles. We shouldn't build on floodplains, but the governance of the spaces is very critical. When you have open spaces being built up, wetlands being filled up, we popularly call it land reclamation. Even government is involved in this, reclaiming lands that ought to be places where that could soak in extra waters. We're having also the impact from climate change at the same time. So there's a lot to be done by the government, basically. The citizens have to play their own roles, ensuring that drainage channels are not clogged up by waste disposal. And then, of course, somebody has to be responsible for waste management. And that is why we elect people into government.
Indeed, we can't go into that details in terms of waste management because by the time you walk on the streets of some states, you see waste disposals not properly being handled. But let's look at it in terms of the impacts this is having on infrastructure development, livelihoods of an average Nigerian, and more importantly, how well this slows the growth of the nation. Let's look at how this impacts are really eroding us in terms of this growth.
Well, flooding has a lot of impacts, negative impacts on the population in terms of destruction of livelihoods. We're having floods, swallowing of farmlands. It's predicted that this year, to 2026, we may have up to 4.2 million hectares of farmlands going underwater. We're having roads destroyed. For some roads that were broken in 2022, the 2022 floods, they've still not been repaired. And so if you travel on some of the highways, you'll be shocked at what you see. And so this impacts the people's lives, it impacts business, and when farmlands go under the water, it also affects food production. Of course, this also direct impact on health issues in terms of compromised sanitation, diseases like malaria, like cholera, and the rest, and then of course, hospitals that are being also broken down by the floods. It's predicted that probably up to 4,500 healthcare facilities will be affected by this year's flooding. That is massive.
That is massive indeed. And I mean, that's why one of the things that came up in last year's resolution was the ecological fund. Let's look at how well that has been in terms of capital mobilization and utilization as well.
Well, I think one of the good things that we have a lot of good policies. We have good financial outlays for ecological funds. Well, that has largely become known as political funds because sometimes they're not being directed to where they ought to be used. If those funds were adequately utilized, we'll have better preparedness for issues of flooding and also, of course, building adaptation measures and also building resilience in our communities. But the issue again is implementation of policies direct good investment of finances where they ought to be invested, and not just relief being sent to victims, bags of rice, sachet water, and so on. Those don't have long-term benefits for the people.
And anyway, we hope to see that these efforts are being utilized more importantly, and also we move from predictions to actually ensuring that we curb every impact of floods in the country. Thank you so much for your time, Nimubasi. That's the Nimubasi, Executive Director of Health of Mother Earth Foundation.